Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to change your wheel bearings in your prime front wheel. So that's a carbon disc front wheel. So I'll go ahead, I'll show you how to do it. Right, so here we have the wheel in question. This just happens to be a prime BlackEdition. Obviously this is disc wheel, the disc hub. So the first thing we got to do is, you notice this is a disc side where your centre lock disc will go on. Now we want to remove the end cap there. Now if you can't just get hold of it and pull it off like so, it doesn't come off that easily, then what you want to do is get yourself an 8mm socket like so. And if you just rest that in the middle of there, and if you just wiggle it left and right and up and down like that, and eventually you'll be able to remove it like so. So there's the cap removed. Then what we need to do now is remove the shaft from the middle there out of the non-disc side. So it comes out this side. If you notice, the caps are different from one side to the other. This one's tapered on the end like so. So we need to remove that with the shaft. Right, so we need to hit down on that shaft that's sticking up there. So there's no good in just hitting that with a hammer, because it will damage the shaft and then it will be useless then. So to be able to hit that without damaging it, all you need to do is find yourself a washer like so over a bolt that fits down in there and a rest on the end like that. So when you're hitting it, you're not directly hitting the shaft with a hammer to get it started. And then what we'll do is rest the wheel down. So you can see I've got two blocks of wood there. So we just rest the wheel there. There's no point in resting it on a block of wood because we need this to come down out of there. So there's no point in resting it on it. What you got to do is just put the blocks apart slightly so it's resting on the hub still, but it's not interfering with the end cap on the opposite side. Obviously this is the disc side, so if you put it like that, it's not going to be interfering. Then we can go ahead, once we've got it in place, we can go ahead then and then tap down on there just to get that moving. So I'll locate it like that, then we'll hit that. As you can see, I'll lift it up. There's the axle through the middle with the bearing on the end there. So I'll go ahead, what I'll do now is take the washer and you bolt out of that end, and then we turn it over because we need to remove the wheel bearing that's in the disc side now. So if you just turn that over, now you can rest it on just one of your blocks of wood like that. Then what you want to do is, looking down inside the wheel, you can see the inner race of the wheel bearing. So you can just get your punch and your hammer and then just moving around the wheel bearing, not just hitting it at one side only. You've got to crisscross. You don't have to hit it hard, just go around tapping it round. Like so. then there's your bearing from this side. Right, so that's both of the bearings removed, like I showed. Now with this one you got the cap on the end. Now if you can't just get hold of that cap there and pull it off like so, if it's on there a bit better than that, then what you want to do is get your 8mm socket again, like I showed earlier. Just put that in there and then just wiggle it around, left, right, up, down, until it comes off like that, and then you can slide the bearing off of the end. So once you've done that, you can clean out, degrease, just wipe round where the new bearings are going to sit in the hub. Just wipe off any old grease and dirt off or anything, and we'll go ahead and reinstall the bearings. Right, so first job to do when reinstalling them after you've cleaned everything up is, what we want to do is we're starting on the non-disc side. So I'll just go ahead, put some grease, smear of grease where the bearing's going to sit, and then I'll just do the same on the disc side. Just put some grease in there, just a light smear around where it's going to sit, like that. Now with the bearing itself, what you want to do is just put some grease around the outside like that, and then whichever side is going to be inside the hub, just put some grease over the seal of it. Just helps keep any water out and moisture from the inside, like that. So once you've done that, you can go ahead with your finger and just rest it in place like so, making sure that it's square in the hub, it's not in crooked in any way. And then when you've done that, you can get yourself 19mm socket like so, and then fit that over the outside. Now you're not hitting anywhere where the seal is, where your dust seal is. Don't ever hit there, only hit on the outer race of the bearing. So what you got to do is start it off, get it going in square into the hub, no point in hitting it in crooked. So once you started it off like that, just keep tapping it gently round the bearing so it's going in square until it stops. Right, so once you've got the bearing installed like that, it doesn't take a lot to hit it in, they're not in there very far, so you can just tap it round and install it like so. So once you're happy with that, what you want to do is you can spin the wheel over so the disc side is facing up now, and then the shaft through the middle there on both ends where the bearing's going to go into the middle of the bearing, just put some grease around both ends of that like so, and then you can lower it down into position so it goes through the bearing you've just installed. So push it through and then it pops out there like so, out of the bearing you've just put in. So once it's like that, then obviously you can't rest it flat on the piece of wood anymore. So what you want to do is again just move the blocks apart and then rest it in position as you had it before, like that. And then we can put the bearing in the disc side. So again, just paint some grease around it, and on the side that's going to be inside the wheel, put a covering on there like so. And you can lower it over the shaft there into position. Like so. Right, so we start hitting this in. Obviously we've got it rested on the blocks of wood there to avoid any damage to the hubs. That's why we're using bits of wood. Never rest it on a vise or anything like that, because you'll just damage the hub itself or knock all the paint off or whatever. So the bearing, I'll say I'll just slid it over the top, then we'll just tap it down, make sure it's going in nice and square, it's not going in crooked. So you have the this side bearing installed there. Right, so that's the this side bearing installed. That bearing there just sits down a little bit further in than the non-disc side. So now what we can do is go ahead and fit the caps back on. So I'll just start off with the non-disc side. What you want to do is just put some grease around the face of the bearing there and on the shaft a little bit, sticking up just in case, and on the end cap there's just a rubber O-ring just down inside there, so to help it go on and stop it getting stuck on so easily, just put some inside the cap and just around the face there. Then you go ahead and put the cap back on, like so, press it on. Now flip it over, get the cap for the disc side, just do the same. We'll just paint a bit down over the face of the bearing, grease, and on the around the shaft there, and that same inside the cap, put some grease in there and on the face, like so. Then we can get this one, just push it in over the shaft and just push it into place, like so. So that's both the caps installed on there. Right, so there's the bearings and the installation complete. So what you want to do is just make sure that the wheel spins nice and freely and easily. No noise coming from it. Right guys, there's the steps complete for you. So I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till the next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.